All the children scattered in different directions and hid behind large pieces of concrete. Once all movement stopped, the coach raised an air horn in the air and blew it. Midas already had his hand on the ground waiting for the horn. The instant it blew, he turned the entire surface of the pit and everything in it to silver. Red harnesses prevented others in the pit from being turned into silvery statues by benching them. The next instant, he turned it back. All the other children came running out of the dugout and stopped short at the edge of the pit. "Don't hit the force field," said Coach Hansen. The children slowed at the edge of the pit and felt for a barrier. Sure enough, there was a force field erected around the pit. It started at the edge of the pit and moved up. "Deactivate K-guns. Game over," Coach Hansen said. The force field was now down. Midas was looking up from the pit, counting the other children, to ensure none were hiding on him. "Is that a record or what?" Midas said loudly as he stood up. Coach Hansen was looking at some type of palm-top computer in her hand. 0.08 seconds to red bench everyone is a record. "I'm changing my name from Midas to the Silver Ion or the Silver Streak. Oh yeah," he said. Midas started to find a better hiding spot than he had the last time. "Are we going to play again?" "Let's teach little Midas a lesson," I.Q. said. After some quick and quiet conversation, the children made their way back down to the pit. The coach gave the warning and blew the horn. Midas had his hand on the ground already and immediately turned the ground into silver and back. He then poked his head up to look around. "Tag, you're it," said Port from behind him as he shot and red-benched Midas. Midas looked around and saw himself in the red bench part of the dugout. He ran out of the dugout and up to the force field edge of the pit. He looked at all the others playing K-tag. "What happened?" Midas said to Coach Hansen. "Your attack was predictable. They anticipated it," she said matter-of-fact. Midas looked like he was going to cry. He thrust his arms in front of him and across his chest. "I don't like it when they all gang up on me." Coach Hansen slowly turned her head toward him and said in a soft voice, "If you always act like this when things don't go your way, Alpha is going to be a very hard place for you." Midas walked over to the bleachers section and thrust himself down into the seat. This was too much for Coach Hansen. She walked over to him and talked to him in a much harder voice. "Would you like me to order everyone to let you win?" "No." "Why don't we just break all their K-guns so you can always win?" "I don't like losing," he said with tears starting. "If I put cardboard cutouts in the pit for you to red bench all day, would you ever get any better?" "No." "You need to be challenged to grow. Part of being challenged is losing. Get used to it and try to learn from it." Coach Hansen walked back to the edge of the pit to watch the others. The next several games went pretty much the same for Midas. The others hunted him first and went after each other. He found out they were jumping off the ground then teleporting or flying after him. Without being in contact to the ground, his powers didn't affect them. He tried using his powers several times in rapid succession to get the jumpers. He tried to be ready for the teleporting and the flying, but it was too much. The fact that the children on the ground were also after him didn't help. Hollow would project darkness on him while Zoner opened a dimension portal like a window. She would have the window open behind him for her to shoot through. He was able to get through her window once, but with everyone coming at him from all angles, it just overwhelmed him. Midas was doing what he knew he should, try not to let it get to him. He was really trying to keep a brave face when they got him. He did his best to remember something his dad told him about sportsmanship. Be as happy for your friends when they win as you would want them to be for you when you win. Although, Midas had never lost before, so he never paid it that much attention. A few more rounds and Coach called them in for a new game. "You're all on one team together," Coach said loudly. "Get to the far side of the pit and be ready for everything." All the young alphas were evenly spread apart behind the concrete obstacles at the far side of the pit. Gathering next to Coach Hansen were 20 bots with red harnesses on. These bots were outfitted with K-guns. IQ ordered, "Midas, use your eyes, tell me what you see. Jacked, can you hack those things?" "Those don't look like the other bots. They are thicker and look like they move easier. My guess is faster and stronger," Midas said. "I can hack them one at a time. Each one has adaptive countermeasures, so I can't hack them as a group," Jack said. "Alphas," Coach Hansen said loudly, "your next few matches will be students versus bots. The game begins when the bots touch the bottom of the pit. You can use your powers, and the game is over when all of one team is red benched. Go!" Midas placed a hand on the ground and turned that half of the pit bottom to silver and back. Of the 20 bots, only 2 had their feet on the ground when his power was active. The bots seemed to be quick-stepping and keeping their feet in the air. "Turn the ground to silver again on the count of 3, said Hollow. 1, 2, 3! As Midas placed his hand on the ground, Hollow extended a hand and projected a white flame of super intense heat. The first bot that was struck with the flame was red benched. The other bots ducked and made contact with the ground. Once on the ground, Midas was able to bench the others quickly. "Great job, team. Now you know why superheroes don't use K-guns. They usually pale to their powers," Coach Hansen said. "Now we change the game to no offensive powers and I send in 3 bots. If you beat the 3 bots, the next game I send in 4. We continue as far as you can go until dinner." "This should be fun," IQ said. "Port and I will take the right, and Midas and Zoner, you go to the left." "Why do that?" asked Hollow. "We need to get our fastest on the flanks to keep them from getting around us. The remaining 6 make up the center," IQ said. "Jack is faster than you," Hollow said. "You're right, but she can also hack at least 1 from anywhere. Keep her in the center and back, like protecting a goal," IQ said. When the 3 bots hit the ground, they ducked for cover as the stationary alphas opened fire. Jack started breaking into the first bot. The bots started moving in a coordinated fashion to the right and around. 2 bots would pop up and fire fast while 1 would scramble for position. Then, the process would repeat itself. The bots were coming closer to Midas. One of the bots then turned and fired on one of his team, making it disappear in a silvery flash. The 3rd bot then turned to fight its fellow bot that was now under Jack's control. Midas saw this as his opportunity and pressed forward. He pressed the bot from behind while it was engaging the bot controlled by Jack. Midas was then able to get a shot in from behind and finish the bot. They were very happy, still yelling, when the next 4 bots hit the floor of the pit. After an hour of what can only be described as the hardest thing any of these children have ever done, they had made it to 18 and were still undefeated. "Game called. That's a wrap. Hit the showers and get cleaned up for dinner. Dress nice. We have a guest," Coach Hansen said. On the way back from the pit, the children excitedly reminisced about the trials they had just faced together. If there ever was a team-building exercise, combat was it. These children were fast friends and felt close.